if you haven't seen part 1 and 2, go back and watch it. That's why I put a number beside the title so you know the order to watch it. And you need your notebook. Homework is in the description. I've discussed portals and stargates on here for over 2 years. Recently, I've noticed films and TV shows are directly referring to portals and stargates. Sumerian gods wore the horned cap. Now they show Loki wearing horns. Loki is a trickster god. In Norse mythology, he is a shapeshifter as well. Black Panther 2 shows portals on the poster, plus Tet symbolism. Purple, cerulean blue, and magenta, as always. These portals connect to Alice in Wonderland, dimensions, other worlds, etc. Did you see that? Here's a screenshot. What does that look like? I saw Doctor Strange about 3 weeks ago. He's standing in front of an odd-looking window. They are showing you cerns, interdimensional doorways. In the cartoon, Alice fell down the hole. The hole contracted in the middle and then expanded outward. It was a toroidal field she went through. She didn't fall down a rabbit hole. She fell down a wormhole. The new Black Widow film, red, black, and white, the phases in alchemy. The red shape resembles a Taurus. The third pentacle, a Venus and Solomon's seals. Looks like an hourglass. Looks like a Taurus, indicating interdimensional forces. CERN portals, blatantly, in your face. I don't see this as artwork. I see they are programming cosmic war. Scarlet Witch and Black Widow both have red hair. And here quickly, because someone mentioned the film Logan's Run in comments. Logan's Run is a black triangle. They are inside of a white triangle. It's a Taurus plus the rainbow. The flower inside their palm is the symbol of Venus. And this is in Shiva's palm. That statue was gifted to CERN. Shiva as Nataraj is the destroyer of worlds. This is the carousel ritual they did, red, black, and white. The red looks like fire. This Black Widow poster looks similar to that, so I see this as ritual sacrifice. John Wick, I've seen all 3 films. It's nothing but action, action, and slaughter. Notice the colors. CERN portals, they are connecting the colors to the Stargate. Thor, Ragnarok, demons coming out of Stargates. Ragnarok is the cataclysmic destruction of the cosmos and everything in it, even the gods. When Norse mythology is considered as a chronological set of tales, the story of Ragnarok naturally comes at the very end. For the Vikings, the myth of Ragnarok was a prophecy of what was to come at some unspecified and unknown time in the future, but it had profound ramifications for how the Vikings understood the world in their own time. The word Ragnarok comes from Old Norse Ragnarok, fate of the gods. She has horns on her head compared to Carnunos, which is CERN stargates. Again, we have Tet symbolism. The cross is inside the circle, basket, snake, and surround. What these films all have in common: CERN stargates, portals, Guardians of the Galaxy, coming out of the portal with weapons. Are they running out of ideas? No, it's intention. Here's the colors again. Gomorrah. Is that Sodom and Gomorrah? Because that story was about nuclear war. It must be a coincidence that she has red hair. Oh, a sexy mantis. You know, people who've seen these beings don't describe them looking like this. And even if it was a hybrid human, something tells me they would still look buggy, intelligent insects. Oh dear. Wonder Woman and the Venusian Amazon. This is not sun symbolism. Why do they all show the same cerns in the posters? Let's do one more. Thor. My, what interesting symbolism here. It shows you they take portals to other worlds. What are the colors in that portal? Ah, the new Star Wars. Did you notice the radiation symbol above her? Mesopotamian War. Information about the ancient Mesopotamians' way of fighting a war. The ancient Mesopotamian warfare was a pioneering system that combined military technology and technique. The system inspired other ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, the Persians, the Medes, etc. They fought for all things good: transportation, irrigation, security, economic gain, spirituality. War was considered a divine mission to get more followers to their national god. Oh. How did the Mesopotamian war change the world today? Propaganda is basically the same thing as advertisements. Even nowadays, we are often brainwashed to act or believe. Wonder Woman is Ishtar, that's why the star is on her face, making the cross of Osiris. These are not myths, they're real, and they continue to reference them. When the governments come out and reveal these non-human beings, then I'll believe what they have to say. But until then, we have to reveal this to each other. I believe there's strong evidence to suggest the Watchers and their offspring, the Nephilim, were indeed the shamanic elite that founded the early Neolithic cult centers of Upper Mesopotamia. They are reportedly referred to in pseudepigraphical literature as birdmen, and we know that the Neolithic period's highly prominent cult of the dead was focused around excarnation and the use of the vulture. And what we have here? Bird-faced Astarte. You know who's Astarte? Look at Ishtar with the bird head. Now she looks like Isis, including the scales on the body. Hanged Man reference, how many times do we need to see that? All the colours on the poster match the Eastern Star. It's multifaceted and therefore speaks of radiation. Wonder Woman 8:4. We go to Hebrew. 8 is het, a wall or fence. 4 is dalit, door and entrance. However, modern Hebrew, het means doorway and is number 8. This is the Star of Ishtar. They are telling you they opened doorways with cerns. In numerology, W equals 5. So we have 10 plus 8 plus 22. 22 connects to cerns portals, but 2 plus 2 equals 4, the death number, because you have to sacrifice a soul to open the portal. Space Jam 2 has arrived. I'm not interested in seeing it, but I've seen a trailer and I'm breaking it down for you. Basketball champion and global icon LeBron James and his youngest son Dom, who dreams of being a video game developer rather than follow his father's footsteps, find themselves trapped in the Warner 3000 serververse, a virtual space ruled by a tyrannical AI by the name of Algorithm. The number on his basketball kit is 6. Adad Ishkur, sacred number 6. Adad is the god of storms. He's usually shown carrying a lightning fork, symbolizing his power over the storm forces of nature. The Babylonian and Assyrian god Adad was known to the Sumerians as Ishkur, and is often shown with the lion, dragon, or bull. Adad's wife was the goddess Shala. The auroch is the symbol for Adad. No surprise, this animal is on Ishtar's gate. Shala was an ancient Sumerian goddess of grain and the emotion of compassion. The symbols of grain and compassion combined to reflect the importance of agriculture in the mythology of Sumer and the belief that an abundant harvest was an act of compassion from the deities. Traditions identify Shala as the wife of the fertility god Dagon or consort of the storm god Hadad, also called Ishkur. Ceres, the goddess of agriculture, identified by the Greeks with Demeter. Demeter, Ceres, is the goddess of harvest. The Shalamans, a mountain on Venus, is named after her. Hadad, god of weather, hurricane, storms, thunder and rain, holding Thor's hammer. Abode, heaven, symbol, thunderbolt, bull and lion. Siblings, Inanna. Equivalents, Zeus, Jupiter, Indra, Baal. LeBron represents Jupiter. His basketball has lightning and it's touching the Eiffel Tower. Remember what I said about Paris in the second video? Go to the bottom. Jupiter, associations, preservation, religion, memory, and law. Adad, god of rain and storm flood, who causes colds and rheums. Ishkur, Adad, Mesopotamian storm god associated with both life-giving and destructive properties of rain and flood. Sumerian Ishkur and his Akkadian counterpart Adad, syncretized at an early age, were storm gods, ambivalent figures whose intervention might either benefit or harm humankind. The destructive aspects of the storm god are often prominent in southern Mesopotamia. Adad was associated with divination and justice. We're gonna get into that. Paired with Shamash, he is addressed as Lord of Prayers and Divination and invoked to preside over haruspices or as a witness in legal contexts. His ability to deploy the destructive forces of nature meant that Ishkur/Adad was also conceptualized as a warlike figure. In one Sumerian hymn, Ishkur destroys the rebellious land like the wind. Colors associated with Jupiter are blue and purple. So tell me why this boy is wearing blue and purple. In cinemas, July 16th, using color frequencies to open portals. This is a colorful CERN Stargate. Same with Ready Player One, color frequencies to activate a portal. Since the film is a Jupiterian ritual, we have to study his number frequencies and sigil spirits. A lift or elevator is a transportation to different worlds or realms. It stops with odd symbols. To me, it looks like the spirits of Jupiter and an alchemical symbol. It looks like a 3 and a G, similar to the Ohm symbol. This is the magic square for Jupiter. When mapped out, it looks like this. He falls into a portal and strikes the ground. The smoke rises and forms this. It's the magic square of Jupiter. It's not a basketball hoop. That's how they hide things in your face. Red, black, and white alchemical phases. His sun is next to the mother. Look at his jumper. Jupiter conjuration. It resembles a grid because they are reprogramming the matrix. It also looks like Doctor Strange's CERN window. These two are wearing blue and purple. You see her bag? Identical to the flower bracelets and staves on Sumerian reliefs. Granny's number is 88, a reference to Venus. There's his team of rejects, and Cousin It found his purpose in life. The red-haired creature with black eyes, or maybe it's the Mothman, I don't know. Tweety is a yellow canary, and it made me think of this. Canary in the cold mind, something or someone who acts as an indicator, an early warning of possible adverse conditions or dangers, refers to the former practice of taking caged canaries into coal mines. The birds would die if methane gas became present and thereby alert miners to the danger. Tweety is tiny and can't play the game, so why include him in the film? In theaters July 16th, July is 7. On the Magic Square we have a 7 and a 16. February 2014, Warner Brothers officially announced the development of the sequel that would star LeBron James. From 2014 to now is 7 years. Aleister Crowley wrote a book called 777 of the planet Jupiter and his signification. Jupiter is placed next to Saturn among the ancients. You shall sometimes find him called Zeus or Phaeton. He signifies judges, senators, counselors, ecclesiastical men, bishops, priests, ministers, cardinals, chancellors, doctors of the civil law, young scholars and students in a university or college, lawyers, clothiers, woolen drapers. Colors: sea green or blue, purple ash color, and mixed with yellow and green. Countries: Babylon, Persia, Hungary, etc. Angel: Zadkiel. Day of the week: Thursday or Thor's Day. Kabbalistic attributions: Hesed, mercy, Gedula. Associated deities: Zeus and Thor. Day of the week: Thursday. I'm breaking down the posters. You see the colors? Now compare. See with my eyes. The A in Space Jam is tall, like a pyramid, and has a ring around it. Stargates. And makes sense with this, the blue column of light. The way they are standing is Janus symbology. So we go to the bottom. Jupiter, Archangel, Zadkiel. This is the sigil for Archangel Zadkiel. Now do you understand why they made the A tall and pyramid shaped? And just to confirm, this is about Jupiter. They have a spider character. I made a 16-minute video about Jupiter, so I'm not reiterating it here because I don't have time. Rabbits connect to portals. You see the bunny ears in the poster with these colors. It's a link to the CERN Stargate. Remember, Alice followed a rabbit to another world, and the colors match. Bunnies in front of the Stargate portal. It's identical. It's not a conspiracy when they keep repeating the same imagery. CERNs also connect to radiation. Same colors on the poster. Look at it. Dennis Rodman with the radiation colors and the Balaam on his head. I think he should have been in the movie instead. You still think it's not CERNs? He has a CERN printed on his basketball kit. Tune Squad. A tune is tone. It's frequency, a vibration. July is the 7th month. 1 plus 6 equals 7. That's 77, connecting to the Star of Babylon. Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons opened a portal to extraterrestrial intelligence. The Babylon working began in 1945 to 46, a few months before Crowley's death in 1947, and just prior to the wave of unexplained aerial phenomena, now recalled as the Great Flying Saucer Flap. Parsons opened a door and something flew in. A gateway for the Great Old Ones has already been established and opened by members of the OTO who are en rapport with this entity, Lam, an extraterrestrial being whom Crowley supposedly contacted while in America in 1919. This being, who is considered as belonging to a race rather than a separate individual entity among the OTO and other cultists, most notably the offshoot cult of Lam, really? Bears a striking resemblance to the infamous grey aliens allegedly working with the secret government here on Earth. The theory is that Crowley first made contact back in 1919 through a series of rituals called the Amalantra workings. Jack Parsons of Jet Propulsion Science fame was also a member of the OTO, and subsequently he practiced a form of rituals called the Babylon working, which not only reopened the portal Crowley sealed years prior, but ripped open a bigger tear in the interdimensional or space-time fabric, a tear in which closure was not an option due to inadequate knowledge or careless neglect. Unlike Crowley, the Babylon working is patterned after the Amalantra working, and both involved elaborate use of what they termed sex magic. What's interesting here is the time correlation between Parsons' rituals and when a man by the name of Kenneth A. Arnold made what is considered to be the first widely reported UFO sighting of 9 silver disc-like craft in Washington state on June 24, 1947. Parsons conducted his rituals from January to March of 1946. After those rituals, UFO observation was facilitated and UFOs were bursting upon the scene left and right. Of course, the Roswell incident is right up there in the mix, as well as George Adamski's observations. So what do we have? CERNs, portals, positive and negative charge, color frequency. He's wearing cerulean blue. They always show black people with purple. It's ultraviolet radiation and it's coming through the portal to activate him. And the rabbit is on top of the Stargate. Another poster with the color codes, same colors. They tell you it's Stargates. It's a mirror image. They're talking about cosmic war, celestial war, Star Wars, but they make it cute with cartoons. In 2020, Saturn and Jupiter made a conjunction, and it was a V shape in the sky. You can see that on the poster. It's likely something's going to happen at the end of this year. The 21st of December is around the winter solstice, so 21st day, December is the 12th month, and it's 2021. So 21, 12, 21 is 333. The Roadrunner is dark blue and light blue, like the girl on the Denver airport mural with the star map. LeBron James wears purple and yellow, same as the boy holding the pigeon on the Denver airport mural. Anthony Davis as the Brow, a hobby-like goon, so he's a Nephilim. Damian Lillard as Kronos. Kronos is Saturn. Diana Taurasi as White Mamba, a Naga-like goon. Naga! How many times have I spoke about Naga? They didn't even call her like a serpent woman. They actually said Naga. Don Cheadle as Algae Rhythm, an evil computer AI whose name is a pun on algorithm. Saniqua Martin Green as Camia James, LeBron's wife. Sanika Martin Green plays a character called Camia James. What does that say? Camia of Jupiter. Done. Camia, also known as magic squares, the camia are mathematical structures that have been associated with both planetary magic and the modern Hermetic Kabbalah. Each planet has its corresponding camia, but it's more correct to say that each positive whole number has its corresponding camia, and that each number is used to represent specific planetary spheres. Let's use the camia of Jupiter to illustrate all of the concepts associated with these mathematical constructs. Jupiter is the fourth sphere in Hermetic cosmology because it comes after the first and second spheres of primordial archetypes and after the third sphere of Saturn. Hermetic cosmology as well as the Kabbalah start at the divine and work their way down. Hence, Jupiter is the fourth sphere down, and its principal number is 4 in terms of its camia. The camia of Jupiter and planetary sigils. Each row and column contains 4 numbers. The square contains 16 numbers from 1 to 16, and the film comes out on the 16th of July. Haha. Each row, column, and diagonal adds up to 34. All of the numbers in the square add up to 136. In this poster, they are forming a circle. The 4 characters are holding basketballs. It matches the planetary sigil of Jupiter. The boy is wearing a top Loyola. Loyola is a Jesuit-owned and run university. The Society of Jesus, commonly called the Jesuits, is a secret order of the Roman Catholic Church founded August 15, 1534 by the Spaniard Ignatius Loyola and sanctioned by Pope Paul III, September 27, 1540. Loyola had received a military training, and when he later became an extreme religious enthusiast, he conceived the idea of forming a spiritual militia to be placed at the service of the Pope. They are called the Society or Company of Jesus, the latter designation expressing more correctly the military idea of the founder, who was to establish, as it were, a new battalion in the spiritual army of the Catholic Church. The end justifies the means. This maxim is generally attributed to the Jesuits. While it might not be found in just that many words in their authorized books, yet the identical statement is found over and over again in their Latin works. Hermann Busenbaum, in his Medulla Theologiae Moralis, gives this as a theorem. Cum finis est licitis, etiam media sunt licita. When the end is lawful, the means are also lawful. Qui licitius est finis, etiam licent media. For whom the end is lawful, the means are lawful also. Qui consentis est finis, concessa etiam sunt media, ad finem ordinata. To whom the end is permitted, to him also are permitted the means ordered to the end. Jesuit professor of moral theology in his Synopsis Theologiae Moralis said, Finis determinat moralitatem actus. The end decides the morality of the act. So you may wish to do more research about what the Jesuits really represent. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. In the Hebrew, mem represents water, chaos, and blood. And LeBron James works for the Lakers. A lake is a body of water. The soundtrack was released on July 19, 2021, and labeled by Water Tower Music. Space Jam: A New Legacy. We win. Control the world. Pump Up the Jam by Lil Uzi Vert.
Welcome, King James.
Did you hear that? He called him King James. That tells me I need to look at the King James Version in the Bible. And there came one of the 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore, that sitteth upon many waters. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. Revel, literally to rebel, to make merry, be noisily festive, to take much pleasure or delight. Boisterous festivity, merrymaking. Oh dear, does that mean they're going to dance on people's graves? Revelation, a revealing or disclosing of something, something disclosed, a striking disclosure, as of something not previously known or realized. In theology, God's disclosure or manifestation to man of himself and his will, something as the Bible containing such disclosure or manifestation, the last book of the New Testament ascribed to John, the revelation of St. John the Divine. Look here, number 6, Just for Me, performed by St. John and Scissor. Revelation 6 tells of a book or scroll in God's right hand that is sealed with 7 seals. The Lamb of God, Lion of Judah, opens the first 4 of the 7 seals, which summons 4 beings that ride out on white, red, black, and pale horses. Ezekiel lists them as sword, famine, wild beasts, and plague. Now remember, the number on his kit is 6. Let's read chapter 6. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, and one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering, and to conquer. And when he had opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And when he held open the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And when he opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, everyday bondmen, every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? No one. That's why they're all taking the knee. It's a ritual that they're doing, if you didn't know. Stand for equality, justice, unity, respect. No, you're not standing for it. You're kneeling, which means you're giving it up. Bring to one's knees, to force to submit or give in. Reshef became very popular under Amenhotep II during the 18th dynasty, where he served as god of horses and the protector of royalty. Reshef was closely associated with the native Egyptian war god Montu and with many other deities. He was also known as Lord of Sky, Lord of Eternity, Lord of Heaven, or Governor of all the gods. And an area of the Nile Valley was renamed the Valley of Reshef. Do you remember Kadesh? It says originally her husband was the god Reshef. So Adad-Ishkur's sister is Inanna Ishtar, and in Egypt she went under the name Kadesh and was married to basically her brother. Lord Indra is considered as the Lord of Gods. He governs the heavens and looks after the affairs of gods and goddesses. He's the most effective and powerful lord, and in almost all the wars with the demon in the early ages. It is believed that rains, droughts, or famines are dependent on Lord Indra. If he is unhappy with man and the world, he causes suffering to humanity either through annihilating rains or famine. Susna is a demon described in Hindu sacred text, normally associated with drought. Susna is often described as possessing a snake-like form with horns. I want to return to the Nubia Red magic phone. Using color frequency to activate portals, I have zero doubt that these phones are black magic, or in this case, red magic, which is blood sorcery. The X on the phone made me think of the DMX album, and then there was X. Remember I said it's not an X? Red, serpent, rituals. When you reverse the glyph of Jupiter, it looks like that, and I'm only showing you what I see. However, it also looks like the Hebrew word lamed, which is a staff or control. In Paleo-Hebrew, it's control to affirm. I did a video about 2 years ago that these reliefs show them star traveling. They have control devices on their wrists and are often in front of the tree of life, also known as a stargate. Another of the methods of divination which Nostradamus would have encountered is geomancy. This is a particularly useful technique for answering specific questions about the future, which relate particularly to material affairs, that is, matters concerning business, finance, agriculture, and property. There is much evidence that geomancy's reputation for predictive accuracy in these fields is well justified. Geomancy, a technique of divination which uses 16 four-line figures generated from dots made at random on paper or the earth, which are often related to gnomes or the elemental spirits of the earth, not to be confused with feng shui or Chinese geomancy. Geomancy looks like these little dots that are in specific patterns. They have names. The dots called rubeus mean red. The X on there is red. It looks similar. Rubeus, redness, bloodlust, flushed excitement. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried out with a loud voice to the 4 angels, whom it was given to hurt the earth and sea. And he said, Hurt not the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. The tribes of Israel had banners described by the book of Numbers, such as the Lion of Judah. Jewish writers have diverged on whether the banner of Reuben bore the symbol of a man or a male child, a mandrake, or a child holding a mandrake in his hand. Mandrake, altered by folk etiam after mandrake, dragon, mandragon, a poisonous plant, Mandragora officinarum, of the nightshade family, found in Mediterranean regions. It has a short stem, purple or white flowers, and a thick root, often forked, formerly used in medicine for its narcotic and emetic properties. The root, formerly thought to have magical powers because of the fancied resemblance to the human shape. Mandrake, folk names brain thief, Hexenmansion, ladykins, mannequin, Salbewurzel, gender masculine, planet Mercury, element fire, deities Hecate and Hathor. A whole mandrake root placed on the mantle in the home will give the house protection, fertility, and prosperity. Where there is mandrake, demons cannot reside, so the root is used in exorcism. The water in which the root has bathed can be sprinkled at the windows and doors of the house to protect them. The heraldic emblems of Reuben. Reuben means red. Province of Zeeland and Nederlanden. Look, it's red lions and they've got water in between them. Province of Lapland is a red man, and he's next to a shield with water. Scarlet Witch is married to a robot with red skin. When I was searching for Reuben, it said that it's equivalent to the 12 signs of the zodiac, and Aquarius, the water bearer, is associated with Reuben. And I've seen a few of the banners of Reuben is water. The heraldic emblems of Reuben, the tribe of Reuben. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, preeminent in dignity and preeminent in power, uncontrolled as water. You shall not have preeminence. Primary shield is Reuben, secondary is water. Going back to geomancy, rubious, red, reddish, redhead. Passion, vice, fiery temper, a bad figure, ruled by Bartzabel. A submission from Florida says the name Bartzabel is the spirit of Mars. A submission from Nederlanden says Bartzabel is a particularly dangerous and old demon who is the spirit of the planet of Mars. Two people from Philippines and India agree that the name Bartzabel is of Hebrew origin and means God of Mars. That's what I said in Ready Player One. It's all about Mars, the god of war. FYI, this story is over 5 years old. Brian Butler conjures the demon Bartzabel. The scene in question, Butler's latest and most grandiose display, was a public performance of Aleister Crowley's The Bartzabel Working, based on techniques of evocation found in medieval grimoires. The ritual was written in 1910 and designed to manifest Bartzabel, a traditional spirit of Mars in Western occultism, through a hooded person placed in a magical triangle. The crowd, which packed the galleys courtyard, was the largest ever assembled to witness a Crowleyan rite. An apparition parted the midst in the form of a figure wearing a red robe and hood. Wielding a sword, he solemnly traversed the perimeter of a black stage decorated with a blood-red circle and altar. A pair of women soon followed, leading a blindfolded and bound figure who was escorted to the triangular area surrounded by mystic sigils. The event was being performed live in front of a crowd upwards of 1,000 people, a curious amalgam of artists, occultists, and celebutantes who alternatively looked on, varying amounts of anticipation, confusion, and envy. So in conclusion, they have opened these portals, literally, and brought this demonic energy in here. If they didn't get you with this programming, then they'll get you with the current programming going on, because the demons coming out are going to need bodies to reside in. So I must make a declaration. I withdraw my consent to any and all timelines creating war and disharmony in this realm. I withdraw my consent to black occult magicians, sorcery, witchcraft, sigils being used to implant thoughts or to steal energy from myself or others. I withdraw my consent and do not accept a culling of the population, a decreasing of the population in any way, any forms of frequency attack or trickery on myself or others. And I withdraw my consent and do not allow my energy to be used to create a war or a war-like realm. I withdraw my consent and I do not accept a timeline or any future timelines to deal with war, famine, hurt, or pain amongst myself or the rest of the population.